Hello and welcome to the National Debate. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the Modi government made a landmark announcement earlier this week, something that the Congress spoke of for several years but never managed to implement on ground. The NDA government is all set to conduct a caste enumeration exercise or a caste census, the first such elaborate exercise in independent India. The last time such an exercise was successfully conducted was all the way back in 1931. But today, as the Modi government confirms that they will conduct a caste census, the opposition is rushing to claim credit. And even within the opposition, many parties are calling themselves the crusaders of the backward classes and the ones who managed to pressure the center into implementing all of these demands. Now, at this point of time on the national debate, we are going to be sifting through the facts and the historical track record of these parties so that you, the viewer, can decide who really has championed the cause of the backward classes and who is this caste census really going to benefit. Joining us on the show, we have Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP. Joining us also is Tushar Gupta, political analyst. A.K. Vajpayee is advocate of the Supreme Court and spokesperson of the LJPR. We have Gaurav Chachra, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Anish Gawande is national spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Advocate Anmol Pawar is spokesperson of Aadmi Party. Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, is with us. Let's take a quick look at what is the main subject of the political discourse even as we speak. It's a track record of the Congress party that is being raked up by the BJP. They have cited the Kaka Kalelkar panel report. What it listed was 2,399 backward and 837 most backward castes. Nehru as well as Indira Gandhi ignored the 1955 report. Then there is the SC/ST quota in jobs. What Nehru had said at that point of time is that it tends to create an inferiority complex in SCs and STs. He was not in favor of quota, therefore, is what is being cited by the BJP as well. In the 1980s, the Mandal Commission report that came out had recommended 27% reservation for OBCs in government jobs. Rajiv Gandhi called it a can of worms. Later, when it came to expanding the quota in 85, he said it won't encourage fools, or he won't encourage fools rather, in the name of reservation, and was therefore not in favor of it. Moving on to what took place as far as the implementation of the Mandal report was concerned, he opposed the VP Singh government's decision and even spoke out against it in Parliament. He called it a division plot. And the 2011 caste data is another case in point, because at that point of time, the UPA government brought out the data of caste elements collected, but this was not released, and therefore was the UPA government blocking the report. Let's quickly take this across to our guest, Ashutosh Mishra. I'd like you to come in on this. What's being cited repeatedly is the track record of the Congress party. Was the Congress party deliberately against the caste census, and now that they are not in power, have somehow come out and said that we are the ones driving it, we are the ones claiming the credit? Why didn't you do it when you were in power is a question that BJP is asking.
So we'll start with 2011 caste census. Modi government itself has said in Supreme Court that it was full of mistakes and unusable. So let's stop blaming Congress. And if Congress has evolved over the years, you should congratulate it for keeping in touch with democracy and the aspiration of people. Maybe Rahul Gandhi today understands that this is what is needed, and Nehru ji, Indira ji and Rajiv Gandhi didn't. What we are seeing here is Kamandal bowing before Mandal. All through their ages, how BJP has prospered was through fighting against caste politics. Ek hai to safe hai, batoge to katoge. And now in one fine stroke, Narendra Modi has undone all the hard work put in by RSS, Atalji, BHP. With what face will that now go and ask Hindutva Wadi Sobadi to support them? It's a case of Narendra Modi trying to blame caste politics for his misgovernance. He still is unable to come to terms that he is down to 240 seats because the youth of today wants employment. Because the people want ease of living, not just ease of business. And he wants to sort of say, oh, it's all because Rahul Gandhi was talking about jitni abadi utna hak, that he came down to 240.
Okay, let me bring in the BJP on that. Siddharth Yadav, it is about, trying to blame the caste politics for misgovernance. That's the direct charge coming in. Is Kamandal bowing before Mandal, as he is alleging?
First of all, I think I would wish to correct the historical context which my friend was trying to give, and the convenient position that Congress party wishes to take in the history. All of us know the position of Congress party. All of us know what Nehru ji said for the backward classes in this country. All of us know that the 10 years the Kaka Kalelkar Commission was The report of that was kept in abeyance. Nothing happened on that. All of us know that for 14 years. Why is it that in history, when a Mandal commission had to be set up, it was when the BJP government was a part of the Janata Party. When it had to be implemented, it was the BJP government who was in power. When Congress come to power, nothing will happen for the welfare in OBCs, SCs and STs. Now you wish to say, in 2011 we did the census, but the BJP government has done so. Your home minister came on record on the floor of the house and said that if we release the data of this caste census, it will have dangerous consequences. So the point that I wish to make is, Congress party and all their allies have for over the years only wanted to do politics over the name of backwards, SCs, STs, the socialists, the Dalit, the Vanchit in this country. It is the Bharatiya Janata Party led by an OBC Prime Minister who comes from a very humble background, who took it upon himself that I would come forward and take the baton of social justice forward in this country. And that is why it is happening. Now they have done the politics, that politics for so long. Who did the census in 61? Who did in 71? Who did in 81? Who did in 91? Who did in 2011? The Congress party did. But you never could not do a caste census. But you would come out and say, no, we wish to stand for caste census. And today we see that there's a hurry, there's a race of taking credit. Now, Congress party, Samajwadi party, the RJD, all of us will come forward. And all of them will say, no, it is because of us. But the people of the country know that when they were in power, they never did anything for the backward. Now when they are in opposition, it's very easy to raise questions. It's very easy to raise demands. But when you are in power and when you had to prove, you proved that you were anti-Dalits, anti-OBCs and anti-Pichra in this country.
Okay, let's go to Anish now. Anish, the point is this. Your party was also very much part of the centre in those UPA years. Your party could have pushed for a similar caste census. Why did you not do so? That's the primary and the most fundamental question coming in, because, you would have seen the press conference of Dharmendra Pradhan. He has asked these questions. He says, who decided to suppress the Kaka Kalelkar committee report for years? Even then, the so-called first family, which speaks so arrogantly, now held the power. And he also goes on to talking about what was stated by Nehru and others in terms of why the Congress did not implement this. Why has the position changed?
Madhav, the reality is that unfortunately, whenever the BJP is on the back foot, there is a Nehru syndrome that comes in. पर नेहरू जी ने क्या बोला था? नेहरू जी को प्रधानमंत्री होके बहुत साल हो गए, and we don't need to go back to what Nehru said, because times change and opinions change. Just like the BJP that is here today throwing up the Congress's track record says that the Congress was against the caste census, was the BJP not against privatization? Were they not against globalization? Were they not against FDI? Is not that same government coming today and saying that as the times have changed, we need to embrace all of these things? So in a similar way, political consensus around this has changed. And over time, we've realized that a caste census is necessary. In Maharashtra, I'll remind you that we've been demanding a caste census since 1992. Because for many reasons, a range of reservation demands, from Marathas to Lingayats to Dhangars, have been pending because of a back and forth between the central and state governments, because we don't have the data. When reservations are put in place and the last available data is 1931, those reservations cannot be taken forward in a sustained manner. This is exactly why we've been demanding this from Pawar Sahib to Supriya Tai to Amol Kolheji, that we support the government on this measure. But the reality today is, Madhav, कि अब डेटा बोलेगा नफरत नहीं, अब गिनती चलेगी जुमले नहीं. Because for so long, the same BJP, which today is coming up with a caste census, has gone around to high-rise buildings to English-speaking people, including the ones watching Times Now, and said, "Hum jati mein vishwas nahi karte," going to the extent of saying, "Hum reservations bhi hata denge," and saying that we are going to be against sort of caste-based reservations. And today they now have to come in front of you, and let me remind you, when they claim a master stroke, they have to come in front of you with Ashwini Vaishnav ji, adding this in a press conference. The BJP that I knew that has master strokes, Madhav, when there's a master stroke from the BJP, don't they do it chhati faad ke? Modi ji announces it chhati faad ke. Where is the announcement here?
I want to bring you in on one of the points that was raised by one of the other spokespersons, and he says that in 2021, the central government told the Supreme Court, and I'm quoting, that quote-unquote exclusion of information regarding any other caste apart from SC/STs from the purview of census is a conscious policy decision, and that caste-wise enumeration have been given up as a matter of policy from 1951 onwards. How do we reconcile this shift from 21 to 2025?
Look, let's get a few things clear beyond the rhetoric. The move is nothing to do with Rahul Gandhi. In 2021 itself, the 127th amendment of the Constitution was passed by the BJP, which was later enacted as the 100th of OBCs. OBCs, particularly 5th amendment, which spoke about the subcategorization particularly. Rahul Gandhi's Jitni Abadi Utna Hak and this pitch for caste census started after the Karnataka victory in the run-up to the 2023 state assembly elections in December. So let's clear out one thing. This has nothing to do with Rahul Gandhi, even though he might claim his victory. Number two, Rahul Gandhi thinks about the caste census as a route to another solution. He talks about raising the limit for reservation beyond 50%, private sector reservations. He has hinted upon it, Diversity Commission in his manifesto last year. He's also spoken about Article 15.5. The presser he did on the day of the announcement, he spoke about Article 15.5, which talks about reservation in private educational institutions, but very conveniently excludes the institutions run by minorities. So Rahul Gandhi, when he says Jitni Abadi Utna Hak, he's not talking about Hindus. He's talking about the people's census, which is what he wrote on his Twitter timeline also on April 30th. So he's talking somewhere about religion-based reservations as well. That is why it's very important for him that the reservation mark goes beyond 50%. However, on the contrary, has the BJP spoken about religion-based reservations? Absolutely not. Has the BJP spoken about reservations in educational institutions? Absolutely not. Has the BJP spoken about reservations of any sort in the private sector in the past? Absolutely not. So this is not about Rahul Gandhi. This is more about the OBCs, to which I'll come later. But one important point, Madhav. Once the caste census happens, many state governments, including that in Karnataka, are using the OBC quota to give reservations to the Muslims, because the OBC quota is based on the socially and educationally backward. It has nothing to do with religion, but they are using the OBC garb to give reservations to Muslims. This caste census must end that, because the 127th amendment gives the state governments that power, but the same state governments are now misusing that power to encourage religion-based reservations, and that will come to an end with this caste census.
I'm going to come to the state governments and their role in this, but purely speaking, as far as politics is concerned, can Rahul Gandhi claim credit? The centre says no, Anwar Pawar, because they say that this is something that has been in the works for some time as far as the centre is concerned. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. We've thought about it, we've analysed it, and then we have implemented this. Your response?
Madhav Ji, as far as Aadmi Party is concerned, we have strongly advocated for caste census. And the moot question here is, which you have asked, that why is it that immediately the BJP leaders who used to strongly oppose, vehemently oppose this caste-based reservations, and why I am saying this, because Yogi Adityanath ji said in Vidhan Sabha, jati jati ka shor keval kaya aur crude machate hain. Sudhanshu Trivedi said caste system was propaganda by the British to divide India and BJP will never implement it. Nitin Gadkari said, jo karega jaat ki baat usko marunga kaske laat. Modi ji said caste census is an urban Naxal thought. Unka कहना था कि हर परिवार में जाके छापे मारना, एक्सरे करना, इससे देश बर्बाद होगा. He labeled it as Maoist thinking. So why did they immediately implement all of a sudden this caste census? Because there are two reasons. First, they want to divert attention from the Pahalgam terror attack, because the people are asking very difficult question from the government, that why is it that the terrorists entered 250 kilometers inside our territory and executed a brutal terrorist attack. And secondly, Bihar ka chunav nazdeek hai. Jumlebazi bhi karni hai.
Quick response.
And
quick response.
10 seconds. Listen to what he said.
जब इस देश में लगा कि हिंदू आस्थाएं और अस्मिता एकजुट हो रही है, तब ये डिवाइड एंड रूल वाली पॉलिसी लेकर के आए और इन्हें सोचा इस देश को जातियों के आधार पर बांटा जाए.
ये कह रहे थे डिवाइड एंड रूल की पॉलिसी है कास्ट सेंसस, जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता यहाँ खड़े हैं. और सुनिए,
ओके, आपने एनालिसिस किया, लेट मी रिस्पोंड टू यू.
नहीं बांटना है जाति में, देश को विभाजित करना चाहते हैं.
There is no change in position.
Okay. 10 seconds.
And I'll answer that factually.
सिद्धार्थ, 10 seconds. एक बार मैं आपकी याददाश्त दुरुस्त
मेरी याददाश्त
10 सेकंड.
अब 10 सेकंड कर लिया. ऑल ओपन.
ये बहुत दृढ़ता से कहने की बात है. एक रहेंगे तो नेक रहेंगे, नहीं बांटना है जाति में. जाति से बांट के इस देश को विभाजित करना चाहते हैं.
ये कह रहे थे कि जाति में बांट के देश को विभाजित करना चाहते हैं.
This caste census and the decision by the BJP government is very different from what Rahul Gandhi is doing. Rahul Gandhi is going and asking the jati of soldiers. He's going and asking the jatis of judges in this country. He's going and asking jati of Miss India. He's going and asking jati, यहाँ पर खड़े होंगे तो आप अपनी जाति बताइए. This is different. The Bharatiya Janata Party is of a very strong belief that caste census can be one tool for social justice, but it is not the end tool. What Rahul Gandhi was doing in past 10 years, he could not think of any other issue. No scam in this country, no other issue, no inflation, nothing happening bad with the economy. So he came up with one issue. अरे caste census मेरे को मिला है, याद आया है. अब वो issue हमने कर दिया. So that is why there is a problem. उसके अलावा कुछ समझ नहीं आया.
Quick response.
माधव जी, इसकी सच्चाई आप इस चीज से आकलन कर सकते हैं. They haven't fixed any timeline. They haven't allotted any budget. They have no concrete plan. There's no roadmap. And this same government in 2021 filed an affidavit before the Honorable Supreme Court where my friend is practicing. And they said caste census of backward class is administratively difficult and cumbersome. And collection of OBC information census 2021 is not feasible. इसीलिए इन्होंने रोड मैप नहीं दिया. बिहार के चुनाव का जुमला है और कुछ नहीं है.
Okay, we are coming to that point.
I have a very interesting question of the rhetorical variety. Since the Aadmi party supports the caste census and the party they went with in an alliance in the 2024 elections wants to use the caste census for an economic mapping, I genuinely am curious that if you do the caste census in Punjab, will the Jat Sikh population who have a dominant land holding in the state be pitched against the Dalit Sikhs, and what will be the Aadmi party's stance then? Because if you're going to go by the caste census, that's all right. That's use the caste census for economic mapping like Punjab.
Respond, Anmol, that's questions for you.
Madhavji, it is the responsibility of the central government to conduct caste census, and the same government for the last 11 years, for more than 11 years, what were they doing? क्या कर रहे थे आप? किसने आपको रोक दिया था? कोई व्यक्ति आपके घर आके ये कह रहा था कि कास्ट सेंसस मत कराओ या इंप्लीमेंट मत करो. आप ये बता दीजिए, आप रोड मैप बता दीजिए, आप रोड मैप बता दीजिए. Tell us a road map. Tell us a road map.
Tell us a road map. The caste census has to happen with the census.
How will you do it? Have you allotted any budget? Have you allotted any budget? Or would it be a jumla like 2 crore रोजगार? लाइक महंगाई कम करेंगे, लाइक एक के बदले 10 सर लाएंगे, लाइक 15 लाख खाते में आएंगे. ये भी जुमला है क्या? ये भी जुमला है.
Announcement has happened. I think every government takes some time to bring out the budget.
11 years. Madhav ji, 11 years.
That question.
11 years.
5 years. Not 11 years. 5 years. बिहार चुनाव के लिए जुमलेबाजी की जा रही है.
75 years.
बिहार चुनाव के लिए जुमलेबाजी. 75 साल आइए क्या रोड मैप है?
Mr. Vajpayee, why wait for 11 years? If the Modi government was serious on this issue, you had a long time. Why now?
Now, if you recollect, in 2017, Rohini Commission was constituted by this government only. And the report of Rohini Commission came in 2023. Rohini Commission suggested this. You must go for this caste census. Thereafter, the steps were taken. And now it has been rightly announced. Now 60 years they have ruled the country out of 94. After 94 years they have announced this. 60 years, 70 years they ruled out. They didn't do anything. What was their slogan? जात पर ना पात पर हाथ मोर लगेगी हाथ पर. It's evident, it is tested in the society that the Congress never supported this. Even they did not give award to the Dr. Ambedkar Sahab, and now they want to credit of this public. It is a first step, only one step towards the social justice, which we initially started. If you recollect, Badil Bhai, Jayaprakash Narayan, Karpuri Thakur, Ramvilas Paswan, thereafter Sharad Yadav, Lalu Yadav, Nitish Kumar. We were fighting for these. What about Akhilesh, etc. and Rahul, etc.? They were not even born at that point of time. So this is wrong to say that after this announcement, the credit they will take it. We are not going to implement at earliest level, because in the 2011, there were 9 crore errors were found. That is also part of the affidavit of the Supreme Court. That's why it could not be published. Okay. Now we are doing it correctly, mechanically, technically, and then we will implement the program also according to the database.
Okay.